for a minute. For a minute. Can you for a minute?
This guy Khamzat Chimaev, and this motherfucker is a psychopath. He's a savage, like one of the most savage guys that's ever fought in the sport. And he just kept training, This motherfucker trains like 8 hours a day. He trains like a wolverine. He's an animal.
Man, he's a savage. He caught his shots. He finished his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish.
The grappling match that you had with Khamzat, was he as tough as you expected?
He's tough, strong. It was like a submission only, and I just wanted to not give him submission, just to be a draw.
How much do you think he weighed in that?
He was 98 kilo.
And what about you?
I was 183.
So he was like 30 pounds more than you.
Yeah.
Khamzat Chimaev is known for his wild and aggressive style, but his training camp for UFC 319 has taken things to a whole new level. As he gets ready to face Dricus du Plessis, many UFC fighters have been amazed by the intensity and dedication they've seen from him.
Before you even decide to fuck him up, you're holding him up in the air, talking shit. That's how good that guy is. He's so good, and he's so focused and dedicated.
Arman Tsarukyan, who is also the training partner of Khamzat Chimaev, shared that he wants Khamzat to win the UFC belt. He said Khamzat looks strong, focused, and is training well. Arman also offered to support him however he can, either with wrestling or striking, because he hopes to see Khamzat succeed and become champion.
Hello everybody, I'm Arman Tsarukyan. We have a training camp with Khamzat Chimaev. He's getting ready for his title fight. He looks sharp, so excited for him and to see him UFC champion. So far his camp going well, he's healthy, he has a lot of energy, and I'm just here to help him whatever they need. If they need the wrestling, I'll wrestle. If they need the striking, I'll strike. So I'm here to help, and I want him to be a UFC champion.
Arman Tsarukyan also talked about what it's like to train with Khamzat Chimaev, calling it intense and challenging. He explained that Khamzat trains hard no matter the size of his partner, which pushes everyone to their limits. Arman thinks this helps him improve a lot, and he believes that if he can keep up with Khamzat, he can compete with any wrestler in the world.
How is it training with Khamzat? I mean, obviously there's so many stories about what that guy's capable of in the gym going back for about 10 years. What is it like for you to get in there and roll with him?
I mean, Khamzat, he's a tough guy, and he doesn't care if you're lighter than him, more than 25 pounds. He just go hard with everybody, and it's good for me, you know. I get a lot of like experience, and I feel like if I can wrestle with him, I can wrestle with anybody, you know.
I would think so, man. And he's probably weighing what when he comes in? You said 25 pounds. Is that about how much he weighs more than you when you guys go?
He's like 205, something like that.
Ilia Topuria also showed great respect for Khamzat Chimaev, admiring his power and fighting abilities. He described Khamzat as a fierce and aggressive fighter who always aims to end the fight rather than leave it to the judges. Topuria appreciates Khamzat's fearless style and determination to dominate his opponents.
Someone else who calls the shots and gets them done. When you think of where mixed martial...
That's why he's the man. He's a savage. He calls his shots. He finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that that guy goes for the finish. He's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a f***ing beast.
Ilia Topuria and Khamzat Chimaev both share a lot of mutual respect for each other, as they have previously trained together and are seen together a number of times. Ilia Topuria also thinks Khamzat is very strong and can beat anyone. Topuria also spoke highly of Dricus du Plessis, calling him a good person and saying they have a good friendship. He mentioned that he also has a good relationship with Khamzat. As a fan, he believes their fight will be very exciting and he hopes the best man wins. He wished good luck to both fighters.
We're gonna have an amazing fight because I love Dricus du Plessis. He's a great human being. I have a great relationship with him. I have a great relationship with Khamzat also. But as a fan of mixed martial arts, it's gonna be a very exciting fight. I hope the best man wins, and I wish best of the luck to both of them.
Meanwhile, Eddie Alvarez shared that it's hard for him to pick against Khamzat Chimaev because he sees him as very strong and dangerous. He also described Dricus du Plessis as having a strange and unusual style that might seem awkward but works very well. Alvarez praised Dricus for his great cardio and determination, saying he always manages to get the win, which makes it difficult to ever completely doubt him.
I think it's hard to bet against Chimaev for me. The guy's a powerhouse, but I can't pick that. Yeah, Dricus is like this odd character for me. Like I never really, watching him aesthetically, it don't all look perfect. It's very like, it doesn't look, aesthetically it doesn't look good, but he gets the job done. His conditioning's crazy. He's one of the hardest workers in the entire sport, and he finds a way. He's one of them guys who find a way regardless of how it looks. So you can never count him out. But I think Chimaev, if it goes past round 2, Dricus.
UFC legend Chael Sonnen shared his thoughts on how Khamzat Chimaev might defeat Dricus du Plessis. He said Khamzat would likely focus on taking Dricus to the ground and keeping him there. If that plan doesn't work, Khamzat would try to win through striking. Chael also mentioned that many people once believed Khamzat was unbeatable, and this fight could reveal whether that idea is really true.
How does Chimaev beat Dricus? Is a different verbiage for saying, I don't think Chimaev can beat Dricus, and I'm only sharing with you, that's new. You guys have always believed that Chimaev could beat Dricus. You've always believed that Chimaev could beat everybody. You believed as recently as Chimaev's last fight that nobody could touch him. And you're a very fickle group. And can he beat him? That's between those two. How does he beat him? He starts with plan A, which is to take him down and maul him. And if that doesn't work, which in the past it hasn't, he attempts to bludgeon him on his feet more than he gets bludgeoned. That's the answer to the question. That's how Chimaev would beat Dricus.
Chael Sonnen also talked about how thrilling and unpredictable this fight will be, saying that both fighters are in for a tough battle. He thinks this matchup shows how strong and exciting the middleweight division has become. For him, this fight is a great example of the high level of skill and danger in the division today.
I mean, this isn't a simple fight where you go, well, go out and take him down. It's like, yeah, good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, it's true. And then you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds has had such a spotlight on it. I'm watching this guy, Kyle Barrow, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickel go all the way to the top. And I think that DeRinner is greatly underrated. And I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
On the other hand, Michael Bisping explained that he has always believed in Dricus du Plessis and never thought he was underrated. He remembered a weigh-in show where others called Dricus overlooked, but Bisping disagreed because he sees Dricus as a powerful and skilled fighter who can finish opponents in many ways. At the same time, he praised Khamzat Chimaev for being extremely dominant, saying Khamzat goes through his opponents easily, like a knife through butter.
I'm a big fan of du Plessis. It's crazy because when we did the UFC 317 weigh-in show, we had to pick most underrated fighters. And some of the other panel, I think a couple of them had Dricus du Plessis as underrated, you know, and I was like, I don't know if he's underrated, man. I think he's the real deal. He's a big, strong guy. He's knocking people out. He's wrestling them. He's submitting them. But if you look at Khamzat, right, we know he just goes through everyone like a hot knife through butter.
Paul Felder also shared that he sees this as the hardest fight Dricus du Plessis has faced up to now. He pointed out that Khamzat Chimaev starts fast and puts heavy pressure on his opponents right away, which makes him very dangerous. Even though du Plessis has defeated top names like Whitaker, Felder thinks Khamzat's non-stop, aggressive style will be the toughest challenge for him so far.
Do you think this is the toughest test of Dricus du Plessis' career?
Yeah, I think so. I think just that first round type of crazy onslaught that he brings to the table and the pressure that he brings early in a fight is very, very difficult, where it might not be the highest caliber as far as pedigree and what we've seen from a fighter so far. I mean, you know, you got Whitakers and people like that he's been able to beat and get through. But I absolutely think that this is going to be his biggest test.
Paul Felder explained that the first round against Khamzat Chimaev will be extremely tough for Dricus du Plessis because Khamzat comes forward aggressively, trying to finish the fight fast. He mentioned that Dricus can look unorthodox at times, but he always manages to surprise people and win. Even with the early danger from Khamzat, Felder still thinks Dricus will find a way to win in the end.
For somebody that's going to come out and you know that first 5 minutes is absolute chaos with somebody like Khamzat. He's going to be on him. He's going to try to take him down. He's going to try to take his back, and he throws big punches. And Dricus being a little bit wild and a little bit clumsy in there sometimes, I think this is his biggest test. But, dude, I'm done ever counting Dricus du Plessis out of a fight. He has proven all of us wrong over and over again in these fights where we think he's going to, okay, this guy's going to kick his ass. So, if I had to pick, I'm leaning du Plessis.
Bisping also talked about how Khamzat Chimaev fights with constant aggression and never holds back. He described Khamzat as someone who always moves forward, trying to end the fight either by knockout or submission. Bisping pointed out that this fierce style has led to most of Khamzat's wins coming by finish, proving how dangerous and determined he is right from the beginning.
Khamzat Chimaev is a force of nature, and he only knows how to fight one speed, and that's why people really enjoy watching this guy fight. He goes forward, he's a straight up killer, he's looking to take you down, do damage, knock you out, squeeze your head off. Whatever it is, he's trying to do damage right from the opening bell. And that's what he's done to almost everybody. 14 wins, 12 stoppages.
Furthermore, Michael Bisping praised Dricus du Plessis for beating top fighters like Strickland, Adesanya, and Whitaker. However, he thinks Khamzat Chimaev is a unique challenge because of his wild and aggressive style. Bisping doesn't believe Khamzat will easily dominate Dricus like he has with past opponents, and he wonders if Khamzat can keep up his pace in a tough 5-round fight.
Dricus beat Strickland twice, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whitaker. Before that was Derek Brunson and Darren Till and Brad Tavares. It was definitely, I won't say a step up because Strickland was a champ and Israel was a long-time champ. But I do think Khamzat is a different kind of beast. You know, the question is, can he go 5 rounds? You know, I think he knows he can't expect to go out there and just get a hold of Dricus, ragdoll him to the floor, and face crank him, smash his teeth in like he did to Robert Whitaker, and walk away, you know. But the fun thing about Khamzat is that he'll try and do that. I don't think he has the ability to pace himself because he's never had a need to.
Bisping further lauded Dricus du Plessis for his strong 11-fight winning streak, which includes big victories over top fighters like Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya. He mentioned that du Plessis keeps improving and warned not to underestimate his grappling. Bisping shared a story about du Plessis submitting a whole team of jiu-jitsu black belts in training, saying this shows that if Khamzat Chimaev thinks the fight will be easy, he could be in for a tough challenge.
Now, Dricus du Plessis, this man's on fire, right? He's 23-2 overall. He's on an 11-fight win streak. He's got 10 wins in the UFC. And of course, this will be his 3rd title defense. He beat Sean Strickland by unanimous decision. He choked out Israel Adesanya in the 4th round. And he took the belt, as we know, in a close split decision victory over Sean Strickland way back at UFC 297. But they always say when you become the champion, you get 30% better. This man is improving all the time. He's got tremendous grappling of his own. If Khamzat Chimaev thinks that he's going to go out there and just take down Dricus du Plessis and just choke him out, right, like he's some schmuck, like he doesn't know what he's doing, like he's not someone that choked out an entire black belt jiu-jitsu team one after the other, then I think Khamzat Chimaev will be in for a rude awakening.
Meanwhile, Robert Whitaker shared that he thinks Dricus du Plessis has the ability to give Khamzat Chimaev his first defeat. He sees this fight as a real test of heart and strength, with the action likely going back and forth. Whitaker believes that the fighter who can stay strong and keep pressing forward will come out on top. For him, this kind of fight shows who really belongs at the highest level in the division. Similarly, Mike Perry described Dricus du Plessis as strong, big, and very brave inside the cage. Even though he respects Khamzat Chimaev's talent and smart fighting style, Perry feels that Dricus's power and durability would help him win if they faced each other.
I think DDP's big and strong and scary-ish. Like, he's a good guy, but like when he's in that ring, he's really powerful. Chimaev lets us think he's not as smart as he is. He has game plans. Chimaev's been a terror in the UFC. He's really taken a lot of it over, and we're all excited to see him compete. DDP's been really humble, but very, very courageous, very strong. I think DDP wins if they fight.
Stephen Thompson shared that he thinks this fight will be very challenging for Khamzat Chimaev. He described Dricus du Plessis as a strong and awkward fighter who becomes even more dangerous as the fight goes on. Thompson pointed out that if Dricus can survive the early attacks, he could take control in the later rounds since Khamzat sometimes slows down. In the end, Thompson slightly leans toward Dricus winning after a tough fight.
Man, I think it's a tough one for Khamzat Chimaev. Du Plessis, his awkwardness makes him very difficult to deal with. He's got great grappling. He's a very strong opponent. If he can weather the storm in a five and a round fight, I'm leaning towards Du Plessis. We saw what Gilbert Burns did, but obviously Khamzat Chimaev, he's made some changes. He's evolving. He's getting better. He's strong. Oh man, I would love to see Du Plessis win it. I'm leaning towards Du Plessis because I think it's a very tough fight. Very tough fight. Khamzat's notorious for fatiguing later on in the rounds, and if it's a 5-round fight, Du Plessis it is.
Furthermore, heavyweight fighter Curtis Blades thinks Khamzat Chimaev will defeat Dricus du Plessis. He pointed out that Khamzat is not only great at wrestling, but also has strong punching power, which he showed against Gilbert Burns. Blades believes Khamzat's skill at combining striking and grappling makes him very dangerous and gives him the advantage in this fight.
I don't know if this is a hot take. I'm gonna go with Khamzat. I think he's showed in that Burns fight. He ain't just a wrestler. He can stand in the fire and delivers some heavy hands. And I think you blend that with the wrestling, just like Oliveira, he can do a little bit of open. I think that opens up either the wrestling or the striking. I think he's able to beat Dricus.
Dominic Cruz also shared that he admires Dricus du Plessis for his clever striking and ability to switch stances, which makes him more difficult to hit and harder to take down. He also mentioned that Dricus's size and strength could help him stand up to Khamzat Chimaev's power in the early rounds, which many fighters haven't managed to do. However, Cruz still thinks this fight would be the biggest test of Dricus's career.
I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong. So I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much. And I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough. He can challenge it. But I will say, I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Corey Sandhagen said it's difficult to choose a winner because both fighters are very strong. However, he feels that if Khamzat Chimaev doesn't finish the fight early, Dricus du Plessis has a good chance to win. He thinks Dricus' size and power will make it tough for Khamzat to control him on the ground, and he doubts Khamzat can keep his fast, aggressive style going for all 5 rounds.
Well, that'll be a good fight. It's hard to bet against either one of them, honestly, just because they've both been looking really awesome. I think that if Chimaev doesn't finish him early, I think DDP will probably win that one.
What do you think's more likely? Do you think it's an early finish, or do you think DDP will?
No, I don't think so. I think DDP will be a lot bigger and really hard to take down and hold down. And then I know that like grappling in the way that Chimaev does, you don't have like 5 rounds of that in you, or maybe he does, but I don't think that he will. And then I think as the fight goes on, he'll get a little bit tired. And DDP's size and his conditioning is such a factor.
However, Jared Cannonier shared that he prefers not to choose a winner because fights are so unpredictable. He explained that both fighters have a lot of skills and will show everything they have. For him, it's more fun to just watch and enjoy the fight rather than try to guess who will win.
I don't favor none of them. I don't favor anybody. You know, I've come to the conclusion that I just can't not pick fights. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's nothing. Something that I never liked doing, but especially after the Adesanya fight, because I was pretty confident that Adesanya was going to be able to do what he was doing in the first round and win the fight. But he was doing what I thought he was going to be able to do, and still lost the fight. So yeah, both of those guys have tools, and I'm sure they're going to both employ their tools to the best of their ability. The question is going to see who's going to be the one to prevail. I don't know, but I'm excited to see.
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. Share your predictions for this matchup in the comments section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about UFC.